Hi everyone, so this is my visual representation of the technology integration frameworks and just some similarities and differences between those. So I'm going to start zooming in now. I'll start with the TPAC framework. This one, it really focuses on the big view and how technology could be integrated into the classroom. It focuses on those and identifies 3 areas of knowledge: content knowledge, technological knowledge, and pedagogical knowledge. These are like the subject info that we should know, and the content, and the pedagogical is our teacher tools, so how we implement these things, and the technology knowledge is that support feature and how we use the technology to develop that deeper learning. And then, so this one is similar to the SAMR model and the TIM framework in that they don't focus on the student's ability within the content learning goals. This is different from the EEE framework, which I'll get into a little more in just a minute or two. And then the TPAC framework is a little bit more flexible because there are all of those different overlaying areas compared to some of the other frameworks. So the TIM framework, it outlines how, again, technology interacts with the students, but it fails to focus on the ability within the student's ability within the content learning goals. This one, similar to TPAC framework, it's time consuming. For the TIM framework, there are 5 different meaningful characteristics, or characteristics for a meaningful learning environment, and 5 levels of integration. So that kind of reminded me of a checklist, and that you would have to take that time to go through and identify those characteristics in your environment and those levels of integration that you are reaching. So that's similar to the TPAC framework because it's time consuming, all the overlaying areas. It's just going to take some time to go through. And then the SAMR model, this one considers again how technology is being used, but within 4 different levels of integration. So these 4 different levels are substitution, augmentation, modification, and redefinition. So this one is simple to use, I think, because you are only identifying that level of integration, and it's kind of like a ladder, depending on how deep you're getting with the integration of the technology and how deep, if you're deepening that learning or if it's just a service level substitution switch out. So it's less complex than like the TPAC framework or the TIM framework. And then the EEE framework, which is the most recent framework, I believe it kind of combines all the previous frameworks that I've already mentioned. It really focuses on how the technology meets the needs of the learner, and rather than just how the technology is being integrated or how it's being used. It's based on 3 components: engagement, enhancement, and extension. And this is a lot different because it's focusing on the learner rather than just the technology and the integration. We want students to be developing that deeper understanding and utilizing the technology so that it is giving them a deeper learning or a higher level of thinking. And then lastly, the EEE framework is kind of a quick evaluation because you're looking at those engagement, enhancement, and extension components, and you're seeing like if your technology tools are helping the students within regards to the learning goals, so you know that your students are on task and using that technology to actually deepen the learning rather than just going through it, going through the motions and not making that connection. So yeah, that is my visual representation. Thank you for listening.